afternoon, wherever you are, morning, evening, wherever time frame or time you're at. I'm coming at you again with some information. This time I'm speaking to Jamaicans. Yes, my fellow Jamaicans, this one is for you. Now, there's something that happened recently in Jamaica that caused an uproar, and rightly so, because our government in Jamaica think the populace or the people are fools, and they treat them like fools, and they're riding their back like a damn camel and capitalizing on the taxpayers of Jamaica. I'm talking about the politicians, the now present government, and the leader of the government who call himself Bro God. My definition is Bro Dog, because he is part in dumb and stuck in stupid. Yes, I said it. People might not like it, but it's the truth. Now, I'm going to speak on a couple topics today, such as what's going on with this raise of pay, 240 or 220% raise of pay. Ridiculous. And then he came on the news and tried to justify it by saying such a raise will facilitate youngsters, more educated people to become politicians. Well, let me say this. If you're becoming a politician because you want to fatten your pocket and because the salary is great, you're taking on the wrong job, because being a politician, you're supposed to be for the people. Okay? Next thing I'm going to talk about is, how did he get there to be prime minister? Because most people in Jamaica think that they elect the prime minister. No, you don't. And we'll discuss that. And the next thing I'm talking about is the new constitutional reform. Going to a republic and maintaining the status of, well, some say president, ceremonial president, or executive president. We're going to talk about that. And a few more things I'm going to talk about is, people, do you know what's happening in your country? Do you know what the future of Jamaica is? Are you invested? I'm not talking about the 1%er or the 10%er. I'm talking about the populace, the common folk. We're going to talk about some things that you perhaps and perhaps not know what's going on in the country, and how, if you are, taking stock in what's going on. It's crazy to see how we're going around through life in Jamaica and not paying attention. Walking around with our head stuck in the sand like an ostrich. Saying, okay, it's not touching me. Of course it is. It's touching you, it's touching your children, and it's touching the future kids. So you got to start paying attention to take a stock. Okay? I have a philosophy where I said, if you start early, the fortune is yours. Pretty interesting. Some of you might like it and some of you may not. And if I offend anybody while I'm doing it, let me do my disclaimer right now. Too bad. Because the truth will hit you hard. And I'm going to say, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to cast aspersions on the people of Jamaica, because they are trying hard. But they just follow the wrong idea. The ideology of the government down there. They sensationalize and hype things up and use their beautiful speech to trick the people. With that said, let's talk about this big raise that the government gave themselves. The prime ministers now, with this raise, will be making approximately, I believe, 28 or 27 million. A jump from, I think, 11 that he was making before. Then, if you compare this raise with the salary of other governmental people in the Caribbean, you will find that it's very excessive. Let's take Barbados, for example. Barbados, the president of Barbados is only making about, I believe, 11 million a year. Another island is probably making 9 million a year. So the variation is, the gap is so wide. Now, here the politician give himself such a big raise. And a couple months ago, several months ago, the teachers were trying to get only what? A 30% raise? And they fight them to the max, say they don't have the money. Then come the police officers. They fight those people too and say they didn't have the money. And then the nurses. And they have the temerity and the audacity to talk about going to America to find nurses to pay their salary to come to Jamaica and work while they still did not compensate the nurses in Jamaica or the teachers or the police officers in Jamaica. And now the politician is trying to justify why they give themselves such a big raise. Listen, that's a big jump. From 9 million a year to 28 or 27 million a year? That's not comparative to the rest of politicians in the Caribbean. And yes, Jamaica is one of the worst economy out there. And you have Barbados is thriving more than Jamaica. Other islands is thriving more than Jamaica, but their politician heads don't take that much salary. Our currency is the lowest exchange currency in the entire Caribbean, either second or the first. So with that fact, how the politician or the prime minister could tell people that it's okay for him to get that big raise. And then I believe the finance minister trying to justify saying that Barbados and the other Caribbean islands were not coming from a COVID point of view where the government is thriving, only Jamaica is. Well, I don't believe that. My research don't show that. So they're stepping all over the people. Now, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is talk about it because it's without my control. And one of my philosophy is if it's not within my control, I'm not worrying about it. But sometimes you got to sit back and say to yourself, you have to worry about it. I still have family members in Jamaica going through hard times. The salary they raised several months ago was about what? An extra $2? While beef patty is more expensive than a hourly rate for salary in Jamaica? Nonsense. Make no sense. Make no sense. I know our prime minister used beautiful words when he's talking to the people, talking down to the people, whatever vernacular they use. For example, the other day I was watching a tape when he was talking about the land and the property that he tore down and telling people they could build back their property, saying that they could incrementally pay back their mortgage. That's nonsense. Which bank going to allow you to incrementally pay a mortgage? Incrementally? You should say installment, but he used the word incrementally to fool the people. What incrementally? Incrementally means I give you $10 today that I hold you. If I hold you $200 and about 3 months, 5 months down the road, I give you another $5 or another $2 and so forth. That's incrementally. Which bank is going to put up with that? That's the nonsense he say to people, talking down to the people while they fat in their pocket. I'm going to give you, by the end of this tape, how much money these people are making, especially Mr. Holness since he came into office, what his net worth is. I'm going to give you the top 10 net worth in Jamaica by the end of this tape. As I was saying, it is asinine giving themselves such a big raise. They are stepping all over the working class while they are thriving. And the big problem is then they try to talk you down to make you believe. I mean, it's totally incredulous. I thought the government is for the people. They are just fattening their pockets while the working class people dwindle down. It's weird. Now, I also say that who elected the prime minister? How did he get there? Most Jamaicans don't really know how the prime minister has been chosen. The people of Jamaica do not elect the prime minister. They don't. And not to get off the topic or go off on a tangent, I'm not saying that prime minister shouldn't get pay. Of course he should. I'm not saying he shouldn't get a raise of pay. Of course he should. But such an excessive amount while you have people can't even buy food, while you raise the minimum salary to only $2? What's consideration you're giving to the people? What are the consideration are you giving to the people? It's not, it don't make any sense. Not to me anyway. Not to me anyway. And people, you need to wake up. You have the most powerful tool at your hand. And that is a vote. And you should exercise that. Don't let them talk you into some pretty word thing to give up that right and vote the way you want to vote. I'm not a politician. I'm not a politician. And I'm not favoring any particular party. I'm speaking out as a Jamaican in general. The things that affect the country, the populace, the common people. So, how does the prime minister get elected? You know they have the parliamentary system. The people do not elect the prime minister. The party elect the prime minister. His friends, the people in the party, they choose the leader of the party. And when there's an election and you vote for the members of parliament or the ministers that represent your constituency, if that party wins most of the seat in the parliament, the leader of the party automatically becomes the prime minister, which means his friends and buddies select him to be the prime minister. That is the reason why he strut himself so much with so much power. That is the reason why he think he's untouchable. Now, in the parliamentary system, the only person really could get the prime minister out of power is the members of the party. They have to vote a no confidence vote to get him out. That's the only way he could be thrown out. Because the people don't vote him in, his colleagues voted him in. Now, for example, you have Mark Golden. He's the leader of the opposition party. So if and when the opposition party win the next election, if there is one, then he automatically become the prime minister. You didn't put him as leader as the opposition party. His colleagues and his friends elect and choose him to be the leader. So when that government wins, he automatically become the prime minister. Now, the last election in Jamaica, the JLP, Jamaican Labour Party, they won the election by a landslide. I think, 47 seats, if I'm not mistaken. Now, with 47 seats, who's going to contest them? That means it's 47 seats, I think, 13 seats or 14 seats to the opposition party. So it's a total, I believe it's 61 seats or 63 seats in Jamaica. So they only have 14 votes. So thereby, winning 47 seats or 48, approximately, let me approximate so you can't pinpoint me and say I'm exact, then the prime minister become an autocratic leader because he have nobody to challenge him. Yes, you have the parliamentary, you have the Senate, but do they really challenge him? Because he got the power of vote behind him. So, people, wake up. Wake up. That's why, remember when he first came into power, the last election, what he said to his members? Don't get cocky because it's easy to get thrown off and act cocky. And guess who's getting cocky? He is. Following his own prediction and doing his own stuff. Now, with the other Caribbean islands, I don't know exact amount, so I approximate when I say the president of Barbados make 11 million, some other president make 9, some make 7. So as I was saying, the other Caribbean island politicians, they don't make that much. They make from about what? Approximately 6 million. I tell to the max is about 11 million. So that increase is totally high for the parliamentarians and is excessive, especially when you're comparing a comparative salary to nurses, police, and teachers. So I'm not negating the fact that a workman is worthy of his hide. They should get paid, but reasonable, where it's not like a vampire sucking the lifeline from the working class. Okay, let me get on to my next topic. The future of Jamaica. Now, we talk about the prime minister get that, well, not just the prime minister, but the parliamentarians get that big raise. And what's the state of the country? What's the state of the country? Jamaica have one of the most high crime statistics among the Caribbean islands. I think they're ranked number 1, if I'm not mistaken. And the lowest economy. 3, the dollar is one of the weakest exchange. As a matter of fact, it's no good outside of the country. It's no good outside of the country. You can't exchange Jamaican dollars nowhere outside the country. So, how you justify a raise of pay? Now, let's talk about the future. And this is on the upside. This is really on the upside. Do you know that Jamaica is in a position where they could be the next Singapore or the next Qatar? Now, if you don't know what Qatar is, or somebody who's in the Middle East, that's a small little island that becomes self-independent and what would you call it? Enterprising or self. You know, they work. Their government, their GDP is way above. Why? Because they're sitting someplace on some natural material that is monetized and bring their country with a high GDP and high monetary rate, and the economy is good. Singapore is the same thing. Singapore do with their harbor. Why do I say Jamaica could be the next Singapore or the next Qatar? It's simple. Most of you in Jamaica don't know what's going on because of government don't tell you, because they keep it among the 1%. Among the 1%. Most of you don't invest in a stock in Jamaica. You don't even know. You get up every day, or every Christmas, you buy Berger paint, and you paint your house and you paint the wall, but you never invest in Berger Company. Never. Because why? Nobody tell you about that. You buy the Grace product, Grace mackerel, splash out, Dr. Gal, whatever you want to call it, whatever vernacular you want to put on it. But you never invest in Grace. And there's this clean air company in Jamaica that if you go to Manchester, you see this big white stuff and it's spinning, that clean air solar system here. Used to be owned by the government and now it went IPO. Majority of didn't IPO mean initial public offer. Most of you didn't know that exists, and only Jamaicans can invest in that company, but you don't know because they keep it to themselves. They are thriving while you are what? Being beaten down. Now, how do I say Jamaica, or should I say, why do I say Jamaica could be the next Singapore? Simple. Coming up in the future between now, I believe, according to the statistics and the timeline, probably 2020, 26, 28, somewhere about that, 2020, 30. That's the reason why you hear Jamaican politicians always giving everything to 2020, 30. Part of the New World Order anyway. The Panama Canal are going to be extended. And when it's extended, it's going to run through 5 Caribbean islands: Puerto Rico, Cuba, Jamaica, Dominic, and Haiti. Now, Jamaica stand in the position to be the leader among those 5 islands. Why? Puerto Rico belongs to colonized by America, and thereby they could have an extension from America's funding, but the government in Puerto Rico is so shady and crooked and corrupted that I don't think they're going to get no backing. Second, Haiti really don't have a government. They're not structured. Dominica is too poor. Cuba is still have the embargo, so that leaves Jamaica. Ask yourself, why are the government building up all the wharfs in Jamaica? You think it's because just to make the place beautiful? No, they have an agenda. It's by design. Because once the Panama Canal come through that area, Jamaica is in that position when the Panama Canal is extended to increase their GDP and become an economical power. But the government is not telling you, so you, the people, could watch, keep your eyes and ears on, give you the opportunity to invest, thereby getting a piece of the action. So, folks, check things out, research, and educate yourself. Be an educated consumer. Okay? Now, I promised you that I was going to tell you about the top earners, politician in Jamaica. I'm going to give you a lot. Probably won't give you all 10 because for time constraint. But the number 10 is Mr. Montague with his net worth of 38 million US dollars. Number 9 is Mr. Shah with approximately 38.5, and that's million US dollars. Number 8 is Mr. Bartlett with approximately 39 million and growing. And then the next one you have, I believe, is Mr. Carl Samuda with a 39.8. And the next one is Pernell Charles. He got approximately 40 million. And then Miss Maloya Ford, if I pronounce her name right. If I didn't, I apologize. She's going on with 42 million. And I love her, Mr. Brodog, our Prime Minister. Listen how much he have. 56 million. And then the next one is Mr. Phillips. Dr. Phillips with 58 million. And I think Delroy Chuck with approximately 59.5 million. So check it out, folks. Where's all that money coming from? Where is it coming from? Good question, right? Look, politics is a money-making business. And when people go into politics, they could tell you all the lies they want to tell you. They don't go in it for money. Yes, they make money. There's a lot of things that they do to make the money. Not going to talk about that. Use your imagination. Politics is a lot of money. You're not supposed to go into politics to make money. You're supposed to go to help the people. Okay, remember, the politicians are there for the people, by the people. And that's it. And look, I'm going to put you a little joke at the end. And I'm going to give you a disclaimer because I'm going to use a very not so nice word in this joke. Okay, so don't hold me bad on it. I might substitute the word. You can figure out what word I'm using. So, and then our GDP is going down instead of going up, right? But politics, here it is. A little Jamaican boy went to his father and said, "Dad, what is really the concept of politics?" And the father said to the little boy, "Son, imagine politics as a family. I'm the father, so imagine me, the father, as the prime minister. I direct things. And your mother is the government. She makes sure things run accordingly, and she manage and administrate on things. You represent the people, my son. The maid or the nanny, she represent the working class. And your little baby brother represent the future. So the little boy was kind of confused, didn't get the idea. So him left, went to bed that night and was frustrated and confused. So he was up contemplating what his father said. And then he heard his little brother crying. So he woke up in the night, went in his brother's room, checked on his brother, saw that the brother got poop in his diaper. So the little boy went back upstairs, knocked on his parents' door, nobody answered. He opened the door, saw his mom sleeping, got frustrated, closed the door, went down the hall, knocked on the maid's door, no answer. Attempt to open the door, it was locked. Being a little boy, curious and mischievous, he peeped through the keyhole, saw his father having sex with the maid, got frustrated, went back to bed. In the morning he woke up, his dad was taking him to school. He said, "Dad, I figure out what politics is all about." Dad said, "Okay, son, tell me." He said, "The Prime Minister is flicking the working class, the government is asleep, and the people is being ignored, and the future is in deep doo-doo." Funny, right? But true. Funny but true. Folks, keep your eyes and your ears on. Don't be politricks. Use your power, the power of a vote, and use it correctly.
Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all thy getting, get understanding. If you enjoy Naph's Blind Wisdom and you'd like to obtain more wisdom with Naph, please like,